Not only are the Philadelphia Eagles the best team in the league, they also have the best dancing team in the league. Amazing performance again, 31-3. The monsters of the East. Philly 500 is here. I'm Adrian Fedke. We lit up the human victory cigar again. Nick Foles playing the fourth quarter. Let's go, baby. Another dominant performance.
Another dominant performance. Another, 3 touchdown games from my man Carson Wentz. Kicking butt and taking names. And this team wasn't even at their best. They came out sloppy. They fumbled. Jenkins fumbled. Blunt fumbled. They come out, but by halftime, as soon as this game was 17-0, it was over. This was a total beatdown. The Bears couldn't run. They couldn't do anything offensively. This was just a nice tune-up for next week at Seattle.
Yeah, well, another preseason game, basically. That's basically what it felt like, And you nailed it right there. It's crazy to say that it was a sloppy performance for a 31-3 victory, but it was a little sloppy. All right, 4 fumbles, 3 of them lost, 11 penalties. Alupulu Vaitai got called for a couple penalties, a lot of penalties, offsides penalties. These were like self wounds. These you had false starts, stuff like that. So you can get away with this stuff against the Bears, all right? But you're going to play Seattle next week, and then you got the Rams. Can't be doing it against those teams.
No. You got to be on point, those teams. So hopefully they got it out of the way. And they're ready to go next week against Seattle. I mean, that's my biggest hope. But look, I mean, all I can say is this team is 10-1. I can't believe it. 10-1. I never would have thought, but they took care of the Bears like I did think. And what impressed me most about this game was that the Bears couldn't run the ball at all. They couldn't run the ball at all. I think at one point, Howard had 7 yards going into halftime. That's pretty impressive. So, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty dominating team. They just keep rolling. No touchdowns allowed in, 2 weeks? So, hey, we're on a roll, man. 10-1, and you got Seattle next week.
The totals for the ground game for Chicago, 14 carries, 6 yards. Jordan Howard, 7 for 6. Wow. Nothing on the ground. And, I know that Chicago came in with a good rushing attack. But the Eagles, they play the outside zone as well as any defensive line in the league. Dominated Dallas in the past, and they did it today again against Chicago. Fletcher Cox, deep penetration. Timmy Jernigan, Brandon Graham making plays down the line. He was dominant again. And just before we get going again, let me just play a little quick song for Fletcher Cox. Mr. Steal Your Girl. He gets this song every time I talk about him now. Deep penetration on and off the field.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was dancing. That was great.
You're doing the electric slide.
Oh, wait, stop. It's eggnog time, yo. Back to the program.
Back to your regularly scheduled programming.
That's right. Got to stop for eggnog. Now, man, I don't know what to say, but we kicked butt. Now, I am going to say that in the second half, the game was like they checked out mentally, and so did my satellite dish because it went out for a while because of the rain. But they checked out in the second half. They had no intentions of playing the rest of the game because they knew that Chicago couldn't score 17 points. I mean, I knew when it was 17-0 and this game was over. There's no way Chicago could score anything. You could just tell. So they did check out. I thought they were sloppy. Blunt had a couple of fumbles I didn't like. Ajayi had a fumble too, I believe, right? That's the one I missed. Then you had there was one Ertz. I know Ertz fumbled and he had recovered. And then you had Jenkins with a great interception. Then he fumbles it back to Chicago. Those are things that cannot happen next week. They cannot happen at all. You got to be on point and be ready next week. I mean, I think they will, but I definitely think they checked out in the second half.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I said coming into this game, Chicago, just not a good matchup. It wasn't a good matchup for them because They like to run the outside zone. If you shut that down, you're going to shut the entire team down. Trubisky wasn't going to put that team on his back. He's not ready for that type of situation yet. So we saw exactly what I thought would happen, and I got some of the numbers for the first half because it was dominant by the Eagles' defense. So the Bears had more penalty yards than actual yards in the first 30 minutes, 36 penalty yards, 33 yards total, and no first downs in, I believe, 7 drives they had. So 16-0 Eagles in first downs, 272-33 in total yards, 124-6 in rushing yards. So the first Chicago first down didn't come until the 14:08 mark of the third quarter.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Insanity.
It is. It is. They dominated them, and they still were sloppy. If they played a good team, this would have been a lot closer. But look, you're not going to play everything perfect. You know what I mean? When you come off an emotional loss against like Dallas, especially, win. I'm saying say loss.
We're just so used to all the losing. You said loss.
Right. But Dallas, that game was a big-time game on primetime TV. They were up for that game. They beat them. Then they come back and you're playing Chicago. And Chicago's going to play hard. We know Chicago puts effort in every game. They play hard. So, I just think it's natural to have a little bit of letdown. And then they came and they struggled, but they still scored 24 points at halftime. And second half, they checked out. And the Eagles were they weren't even playing. They looked like they were trying to run out the clock. You know what I mean? So, it happens. It happens. But you got to be ready to go next week. That's all I know. All I know is you're 10-1. No matter what, you're 10-1. You can win a division Thursday night if the Redskins beat Dallas. And then you got to play Seattle for home. You got to get that home field. To me, that home field advantage is the key. I think the team with the number 1 seed probably goes to the Super Bowl out of the NFC. That's just how I feel. So you got to get that number 1 seed, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. You have to. And, everybody keeps winning too. So, there's no trap games because everybody behind them is winning. There's no trap when you have a small margin of error there. So yeah. I don't see there being trap games coming up. I just don't.
You don't want Casey Keenum to tear you up. He stinks. I am not scared of Minnesota. I'm going to tell you that right now. But the Saints scare me. The Rams I worry about. And the Rams are up 7-0 for all those who want to know right now. Just as a little quick update, 7-0 Rams.
There you go.
And look, it's not going to be perfect, but we're 10-1. We got to be better. That's for sure. That's all I can say.
Well, you said 24-0, and a reason for that, the Eagles just continue to obliterate teams in the red zone. 18 touchdowns in their last 20 red zone trips. That is not normal. It's funny because they said earlier in the season, oh, that number, that red zone touchdown percentage is an outlier. They were right because the Eagles are even better.
I know. And did you see they showed Carson Wentz red zone statistics? I think he's got 17 touchdown passes and 0 interceptions. That is unbelievable. How is this guy? How are people saying that Tom Brady is going to win MVP over him? I'm sorry. I know who Brady is, but there's no chance. Right now, Carson Wentz is so far ahead, in my opinion, in the MVP. It's not even funny. So, what he does in the red zone, what the team does in the red zone is fantastic. Look, they just beat a team that wasn't that good, that couldn't score and couldn't move the ball in that defense, and it was checkmate. As soon as it was 7-0, it was checkmate. It was over. Let's face it, the Bears couldn't score.
The Bears were wait. I scored. The Bears were who we thought they were, and we didn't let them off the hook.
That's right. Absolutely. And the whole thing with the Super Bowl and the NFC Championship game is where are we right now? We're not trying to win a division anymore. We won the division. So now you're trying to get a number 1 seed. So anybody who says that you shouldn't talk about going to the Super Bowl or anything like that, you're wrong. You shouldn't do it. It's crazy because right now This is what you're playing for. You're playing for a #1 seed to have home field because you want to go to the Super Bowl. It's not impossible, and it's not something that you should be scared to talk about. I'm sorry. I just disagree. It's not. You should have every right to talk about Super Bowl because the Eagles have just as good a chance to get there than anybody else.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And this is something we've talked about before. With when McNabb was leading the team, right? We always felt that there could be a letdown. Like, we just always felt that. And right now, I don't know if I feel that with this team.
I don't either. And I don't even know what a letdown is with this team right now. I mean, what I'm saying is I think whoever in the NFC gets home field has the advantage to go to the Super Bowl. I think New Orleans is a tough place to play. I think Seattle is a tough place to play. The Rams, I don't know what to expect there. Minnesota, I don't believe in their quarterback. But I think if the Eagles can get to the #1 seed, I think that they have a legitimate shot. And if the Eagles had home field advantage and then let's say they lost in the first round of playoffs, that would be a letdown to me. That would definitely be a letdown. I'm not going to lie. Probably if they got the NFC Championship game and maybe they lose like a hard-fought battle or something, maybe I'm thinking maybe I'll be like, nah, the hell with that. I'll be pissed off anyway. Any way you cut it right now, if they don't go to the Super Bowl, I would be upset. But I need that home field advantage. You need that #1 seed. I don't think it's going to happen. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I'm with you. If they get home field advantage, they get #1 seed. If they don't get to the Super Bowl, it is a disappointment at this point. And that's crazy to say. It really is. Something else about Carson Wentz. So you mentioned no interceptions in the red zone. He also has not thrown any interceptions when he's been pressured on a blitz this year. So that is outstanding again. And we saw Wentz, the magician, again, coming out to play. So there was a play in the first half where they set up a screen. It was completely blanketed by the Chicago Bears defense. And there's Wentz with that beautiful pocket presence spinning out of a would-be tackle, scrambling for, what was it, like 16 yards. That play was amazing.
Yeah, that was something else. And then there was another one too, right, where it got called back because of a holding by Big V. That was another one there. Yeah. Look, Wentz is amazing. I love this kid, man. And, you just got to keep going. Right now, like I said, my focus is get the home field advantage, and you got a shot. Now, I'm not saying, hey, they're going to go Super Bowl, they're going to win. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying your best shot is to have home field. That's all I'm focused on. Get home field advantage, and then you have a shot. Not saying you're going to make it, but I'm saying you have the best shot. And I think whoever gets home field has the best shot to go. If New Orleans gets the #1 seed, I would say they have the advantage. If the Eagles get it, I say they have the advantage. If the Seattle Seahawks had the home, #1 seed, I would say they have the advantage. Whoever gets the home field advantage, I think this year, the way the NFL's going, has the best shot. It's not a guarantee, but it's the best shot. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Yeah. I'm trying to pull up the Eagles stats, but unfortunately ESPN is not functioning properly right now. So that's okay. All right, so I'll just read off Chicago's statistics. So 17 of 33 for Mitch Trubisky, 147 yards, 2 interceptions. I'll tell you what, he's going to get a receiver killed the way he throws the ball.
He really is, yeah. He really, like, he had a big learning lesson today. I don't think he had played anything like that as fast as that defense today, especially that front seven, man. They were after him. He didn't have a great game, but it was a learning experience. I think he's gonna be good in the future. I do like him. I do like the running backs. I do like what they're doing. So, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. I'm trying to pull up the stats because I'm just curious to see what Wentz finished with. All right, here we go. Now I'm on NFL.com. All right, 23 of 36, 227 yards, 3 touchdowns for Wentz. LeGarrette Blount led the Eagles in rushing, 15 carries for 97 yards. Had that beautiful hurdle. That was awesome. The shifty athleticism of the big man. Zach Ertz led the team in catches, 10 receptions, 103 yards, had a touchdown. And then Alshon Jeffrey going against his former team, 5 catches, 52 yards, and a score. So Ertz, Jeffrey, big days for them. Blount, pretty big game on the ground except for the fumble. And then Nelson Aguilar finding pay dirt as well.
He did. And that play, man, yeah, and did you see the speed he has? You forget how fast he is, but the ability for him to get around that corner and accelerate is something that I think, probably him, maybe when Sproles was there, is the only guy that can do that. There's not a lot of guys on this team with that kind of speed. So it was nice to see Aguilar get involved like that. I'd like to see more of that from him. And hey, it was a hell of a play, and it was great awareness on the fumble for a touchdown. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see it because my satellite went out because it's pouring rain. But what are you going to do?
Yeah. So speaking of Mitch Trubisky, man, they need to get rid of John Fox immediately. Like that's just not working for them. I think they got to go the Rams route. They got to get an offensive mind, help out with Trubisky. And maybe we'll see him take like a leap in year 2. But as for right now, he does definitely look a little lost. But you got to remember, only 1 year of college experience. So, there's a learning curve too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, he's got a lot to learn. And like I said, he's got some good pieces. I love Howard. I love Tariq Cohen. I love what he has to work with. So I think he'll be good in the future. But this was just – he was just outmatched today. He hadn't seen anything like this. And that's pretty much what we thought would happen. So, I think that the future is bright. Definitely get rid of Fox. I'm not a fan of him. So get a new coach. Get a coach that can teach the kid how to play. And look, that's the Bears' life. That's their problem, not our problem. Our guy's rolling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get him some weapons too. Jesus Christ, those receivers are worse than what the Eagles had last year.
They are brutal.
Dontrell Inman is your number 1 guy.
Yeah, that's brutal, man. I bet you Jeffrey, he had to be like thrilled to be an Eagle. It was nice to see him play good and get a touchdown against his old team. That was always a good thing too.
Yeah.
You know?
It's funny because he had an interview last year. He was like, "Yeah, I'm going to be on a Super Bowl team next year."
Yeah.
And he didn't say the Bears, did he?
Nope, he did not. He did not.
So he's throwing out the S word before anybody. But we're not allowed to say anything.
No, we're not allowed to talk about it. People confuse, and I get it all the time. I get comments all the time. People confuse saying you have a shot and saying I think we're going. That's not what I've ever said. I've never said we're going to the Super Bowl. I say we have the best shot if we get a number 1 seed. That's fair. That's fair. I can't talk about, hey, when we win the division because the division's won. So right now the focus is a number 1 seed. Number 1 seed means you play all your games at home. That gives you the best shot. That's all I'm saying. That's all we're saying,
I'll give you an example and kind of what this season reminds me of. So I've given the example of, how this season kind of reminds me of late 90s and 2000 when you had the transition. I'll go all the way back to 1980. 1980, another season where the NFL was kind of going through a transition because you had the Raiders and the Steelers. They were kind of getting older. And then in the NFC side of things, you had the Eagles. They had the number 1 seed. The Cowboys had Danny White, so they were getting away from Roger Staubach at that time. So the Eagles got the number 1 seed. They were 12-4, and they got to the Super Bowl because they had home field advantage. They didn't win in the Super Bowl, but they had a great shot at it. That was the season when the Raiders won it all as the first wild card team to do so. So this season, it's a little bit like that one too. It's again, when you have a season like this where it's kind of a transition, we're starting to see new teams emerge, new stars emerge. Eagles got to capitalize.
They do. They got to capitalize because how often are you 10-1? How often is Aaron Rodgers going to be out? I think that the Aaron Rodgers injury to me is a big deal because I swear to you, if Green Bay was in it with Rodgers and they had to come to Philly, let's say in the NFC Championship game, I would be scared as crap. I would be so scared of Aaron Rodgers. But I don't, there's a difference between saying we're going to win the Super Bowl or we're going to the Super Bowl. I've never heard you say that. I've never said that. All we've ever said was get to the championship game and you have a chance. And I've said this for a couple of weeks now. Whoever gets the number 1 seed, I think, has the best shot to go to the Super Bowl, especially this year, because I think home field with the teams that we're talking, the Eagles, the Saints, Seattle. Maybe not LA because I don't know what kind of home field advantage they have. I don't think they have any.
I don't think they have any too.
And maybe in Minnesota, I mean, those teams get home field. They're tough to play. So I think it's reasonable to say get home field advantage and you have a shot. You have a legitimate shot. And if the Eagles got home field advantage, I would expect them to win their games at home, as I always do. So, yeah. Now, can we have bad luck? Could the old Eagles luck and stuff come back and haunt us and bite us? It's always possible. But with Carson Wentz, I think things are different. I just feel different with him. Don't you feel like things are different?
We have Ginger Jesus in our hearts.
Yeah. I mean,
have some faith.
Yeah.
Have some faith.
You know, but look, could they choke and go to kneel down the ball like the Giants did against us and fumble and we lose and another team goes, well, yeah, the hell, I guess it can happen. It always has before. Why do things change? I get it. But look, you got to play. Just get to the game is all I'm saying. Get home field. That's all I want right now. Home field.
You know who had a really big game? Stefan Wisniewski. Like, he was outstanding. Because I even tweeted a couple times. So Chicago really missed Danny Trevathan because whoever their backup was, a guy named John Timu, maybe his name is. I forget his name. But this guy had no shot. So Wiz was like combo blocking all day. So starting off with the double team, getting to the second level, and this guy just couldn't get past Wiz. So these Eagles running backs had open lanes all freaking afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to go back and look at him specifically, but
yeah, he really stood out to me.
Yeah, they ran the ball pretty well. I mean, even Blunt's fumble was like 20 yards down the field. Yeah. There was another play they had like a 1st and 20 after a hold, and Blunt runs like 23, 24 yards. So I thought they were good. I mean, Ajayi was a little bit quiet. I thought fumbled. I still want to see him get more carries. I want him to get more carries, but hey. It is what it is, man. I'll go back and watch. I'll definitely watch the game again later a couple times. So I'll take a look at Wisniewski. And for an update on the Rams game, it's 10-0 Los Angeles Rams. So Rams off to a good start here.
10-0 St. Louis, huh?
St. Louis Rams, I know. You got Los Angeles Rams. You got Los Angeles Chargers. You got Las Vegas Raiders. Forget that I ever get Las Vegas Raiders. It'll be 10 years, and I'll still be saying Oakland Raiders. It just will happen.
I remember when I wrote the recap for the Chargers game, I literally put Los Angeles Chargers like 5 days before I wrote the recap, just to make sure I got it right.
That's hilarious.
I had to do that. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, yeah, the big win, the big game is Sunday. I mean, wait, is it Sunday night next week?
Yep.
Sunday night game. Seattle. Got to go in. Got to beat Seattle. I think it's going to be a big, big game. I think if the Eagles can beat Seattle, I think the chances of them getting home field throughout the playoffs is really, really good.
I agree. And then Minnesota the next 2 weeks. We'll see what they do at Atlanta and then at Carolina. So if they can get one loss, that's all the Eagles really need. I think. I think the Eagles will be able to get one of two at least against the Seahawks and Rams.
Saints just scored. Dang it.
Yeah, so they're putting up the points there.
So Kamara has 76-yard touchdown run.
Wow.
He's a beast, man.
Yeah.
That kid's a beast.
The Rams really struggle defending the edges in the run game, so I'm curious if that was like a outside run or not.
Yeah, I didn't see the run itself. I just caught where it said touchdown, so we'll have to look.
Yeah, obviously we can't watch. Yeah.
No, I can't see the game through you. If you had TV in the background, that'd be interesting.
Have eyes in the back of your head.
Yeah, but I'm getting updates. But 10-7 Rams.
Okay, I DVR'd it, so I'll be watching it right after my recap. So I can't wait. Eggnog time, yo. Back to the show. You got eggnog. I'm completely sober. I'm chilling my iced tea today. Are you? Nothing in the iced tea, just regular iced tea. That's good, man. There's nothing wrong with that. No, there's nothing wrong. Normally I'm not sober for these games, but I've been really sober for these games this year. It's kind of weird. Maybe that's why we're winning. They got us sober up. Probably, to be honest. Like shit. I wasn't sober last Sunday though. I'll tell you that. No. Oh, those tears were sweet.
That's awesome. Yeah, so a big win for the Eagles in terms of you got the 10 wins, and you can lock this thing up. Hopefully the Redskins beat the crap out of Dallas, and you lock this thing up. Now we just got to go to Seattle. We got to have a big game. We got to come up big, get that home field advantage. That's where my head is. I just want that home field right now.
All right, so some other things. I believe, third down stats. Wentz was 8 of 10 for 95 yards. So that's outstanding again. And the Eagles also 3 of 4 on fourth down. So I believe they are 10 of 14 now on fourth down on the season.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. And they had a 4th and 6, I think they didn't get, right? That was the only one. But, yeah, I mean, especially when you get those 4th and 1s. I didn't like that one challenge that Peterson.
That was stupid. That was like typical Doug Peterson challenge.
Yeah, that was stupid. And there was no reason for that. It wasn't even, to me, it wasn't even close. But you're that short. You just quarterback sneak it to Wentz. You should get that 90% of the time. So I didn't like that. That was one thing I didn't like. But their efficiency on fourth down, on third and long, and in the red zone are astronomical. They're ridiculous. I mean, you're going to win a lot of games when you have those kind of numbers. You just are. It's amazing.
Thank God they're calling sneaks, because I remember during Chip Kelly's tenure, he tried to call a sneak one time, and it didn't work with Nick Foles. This was against Dallas, and he never called it again. And it was something that really pissed me off with him, because 4th and 1, if you go sneak, like even with most quarterbacks, you get it 90% of the time. Like, I don't even want to hand the ball off. Just sneak the damn thing.
I know. Well, a lot of things piss me off about Chip Kelly. I'm still not over trading McCoy. That still aggravates me to this day. And that's going to aggravate me for a long time. But, look, he's back in college where he belongs, so let him go, But what are you going to do? Yeah. Just sneak it. 4th and 1, sneak it. When it's that short with Wentz, you're going to get it 90% of the time. And I liked also that he could audible into that from a run. So he was able to figure out what the defense was doing, where they look, how they lined up, and he changed it. That was pretty cool.
Just to touch on Chip Kelly, let me know if you agree with this. I don't think he went to Florida because he's scared. He's scared that his offense might not work in the SEC.
I kind of agree with you there. I think you're right. I think you're right. And it just shows you how stubborn he is. He's more worried about his system that he created being successful than being a good coach and building a successful team by any means necessary. The best coaches are the coaches that, in my opinion, that can look at a roster and adapt to it. And he can't. He's only cares about his stupid system. And you're right, it wouldn't work in SEC. I don't think it would work at all. There's no chance it would work.
Yeah, because I remember when Oregon played Auburn in the title game.
Yeah,
and his offense got completely shut down. SEC defenses might be too fast for that offense.
Yeah,
and I really wanted to see him go to Florida. I wanted to see what that offense can do in the SEC. And he was like, no, I'm going to go to UCLA. I'm going to go in the Pac-12 where they don't play defense, where it's easier to get to the championship game. Ew, Chip, ew.
And Chip Div Kelly, man. That's what he is, right? So, hey, look, whatever. He can go there. I don't care. I could care less. I don't.
I just find it funny. Like it's like a.
It is interesting, though. Yeah. I agree. It is very interesting that he chose. It would have been interesting to see the SEC how it did. I don't think it would have done that well.
Yeah, interesting. So they're going to get Dan Mullen, looks like Florida is. So moving on, that's about it, man. I mean, we weren't going to keep this that long. We actually have gone 30 minutes already, I believe. So that's great.
That's pretty good.
We're like, all right, let's just get 20 to 30 and let's get out of here. And then we're at
Yeah, I mean, look, you're talking Eagles. When you talk Eagles, anything can happen. And, this was a game that I think everybody pretty much knew we would win. Pretty much dominated, was a little bit sloppy, kind of checked out the second half. But, you know, the big games are coming. The big games are coming and start next week. It's a big game next week. So, hey, it is what it is. 10-1, I'll take it. You know, go Redskins. Beat the crap out of Dallas.
The real teams emerge after Thanksgiving. And this team, it's starting to really peak, especially defensively. Defensively, it's starting, man. They're shutting teams down. They really are.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Look, 2 weeks in, right? No touchdowns. No touchdowns allowed by Dallas. No touchdowns by Chicago. Yes, both offenses may stink, but no touchdowns nonetheless. So we're off to a good start after Thanksgiving as well. But this Seattle game, got to take care of them. Got to take care of them.
Yeah, and, you know, that offensive line, mincemeat. Now, I know Russell Wilson, how elusive he is and how he can scramble. But, by God, you can only scramble for so much against this defense.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And I don't like their defense now that Sherman's gone. You know, I think the Eagles will be fine. I think they'll be able to score points. And I think we have a shot. It's going to be a tough game, but I think we'll have a shot.
Yeah, I mean, this sounds crazy, but I think, like, the Rams game is tougher, to be honest.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I agree. With all the injuries and the way Seattle's been playing, they've lost, what, to Atlanta at home, and they lost to Washington at home. So they're not as invincible as they were a few years ago at home. So, look, we got a shot. I would love to go in there and beat the crap out of them.
Yeah, you know? Yeah. We'll be doing it.
And as soon as we beat them, then people say, well, you still haven't played anybody because Seattle stinks. See, everybody stinks after we play and beat them. But before that, it's, oh, you haven't played this team yet. When you play Denver and their #1 defense, you'll see that your offense stinks. Then you put 50 points on them. Oh, no, Denver stinks. Well, they only stink because we just beat them. Everybody stinks after we beat them, but they're great beforehand. You notice how that works? Ain't really fair. So, you know, whatever. We'll just keep taking them out one by one.
They're gonna beat the Patriots in the S word, and you know what's gonna happen? It's gonna be, well, this Eagles team isn't. It's the worst Super Bowl champion ever. That's what they're gonna say.
Absolutely, I agree. That's exactly what will happen.
All right, you got any final thoughts before we depart?
No, just another win. Keep it up. Let's keep rolling, and let's get to 11 wins next week. Hope next week we're talking about 11 wins.
All right. You want to do some dancing? You want to do the electric slide?
I don't know how to do the electric slide, but I'll shake my head.
Either. But oh, you missed the second half, right? Like, you didn't see the electric slide. You didn't see the dance.
I didn't miss the second half. I just missed the one part where I guess the Giant fumbled that into the end zone. My satellite went out because it was pouring rain. So I didn't see the slide, no.
Yeah, so Rasul Douglas had an interception that they actually overruled after the fact. But after interceptions now, they're doing dances on the sideline. So it's actually on my timeline if you want to check out my Twitter.
I'll check it out.
All right, that's what you can do. So we'll skip the electric slide. I got to work on it though. You know, my boy Mike's getting married in a month, so I got to work on my dance moves. I got to work.
Yeah, you better work on your dance moves.
Yeah, yeah. There's gonna be a lot of women at that wedding, so I gotta. You know,
you better be ready.
Oh yeah,
they better watch out. Have some eggnog.
Better watch out for real. All right. So, final thoughts. Did I already ask you final thoughts?
Yeah, final thoughts is tough game with Seattle. Hope we win. I'm not ready to give a prediction on the score yet, but it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a tough game, and it's a big game. But we'll see.
All right. I'm gonna play it again. For Fletcher Cox. It's Mr. Steal Your Girl. It's Mr. Steal Your Girl. Hey girl, hey girl, hey girl, hey girl, hey girl. Let go. Bottoms up, ever see you come. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hang on.
All right, we're up. Eggnog time, yo.
Eggnog time, yo.